Our worst enemy has no country. They are everywhere and nowhere. They wait and then they attack. This flag is the symbol that unites them, the Al-Qaeda flag. President Obama thinks killing bin Laden was the demise of Al-Qaeda.
I said we'd go after Al-Qaeda and bin Laden. We did.
This stands in stark contrast to the bloody reality we saw on September 11th this year, where Al-Qaeda terrorists successfully attacked U.S. embassies in Egypt and Libya, resulting in the death of our ambassador and 3 other Americans. And a new flag was raised over U.S. soil, the Al-Qaeda flag, a symbol of hate and evil, raised on the anniversary of our worst moment. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Obama failed to recognize the nature of the attacks for over 2 weeks.
I was pretty certain, and continue to be pretty certain, that there are going to be bumps in the road.
These protests were in reaction to individuals.
Over an awful internet video
that was sparked by this hateful video.
Protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
And when I look at what's happening in Libya, there's a big song and dance about whether this was a terrorist attack or a protest. And you just want to scream, for God's sake. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. They haven't told me anything. They're still studying it. And the things that they are telling me are just outright lies.
And today, Al-Qaeda is on its heels, and Osama bin Laden is no more.
We've decimated Al-Qaeda Central.
After weeks, Obama now says he'll get to the bottom of what happened. Had he been paying attention, he only needed to look at the picture of the Al-Qaeda flag desecrating our ground. Obama is in way over his head. As our enemies know, Obama's policy for embracing Islamists in Libya and elsewhere has empowered Al-Qaeda and other Muslim militants with his apologies, weakness, and excuses. Are we safer? Clearly not.
I tell them, please don't give me any baloney that comes through with this political stuff. I don't want political stuff. You can keep your political. Just tell me the truth. What happened?
We sacrifice not because we have to. We bleed not because we want to. We fight because we need to. And sometimes we die because we love this country. I believe in American exceptionalism. As a Navy SEAL, I fought so that I would never have to see my president bow to anyone. Special Operations for America is responsible for the content of this message.
These Special Operations veterans have a message about how you can protect America and restore its greatness.
Time to stop the leaks coming from the White House. Leaks that endanger our forces overseas.
Not only leaks, but spiking your football as if killing was a sport.
Playing golf, not being commander-in-chief. Swayed by a political crony to delay. Afraid to make the decision to take out bin Laden. Another 9/11 that could have been prevented.
Lies and deceit about Benghazi. No security for our ambassador in Libya. No plan to rescue him and the other Americans. A total lack of leadership. Blame the attack on a video, a spontaneous demonstration. Lied to the American public and the world in a UN speech.
A mob that just happened to show up with RPGs and mortars, a 7-hour attack.
Leaking classified information to help Hollywood make movies about killing bin Laden.
So the president takes credit to get reelected.
The modified ground rules of engagement that keep killing our soldiers in Afghanistan after the bin Laden raid. From fast and furious guns to Mexican cartels and failing to secure our border.
To terrorism in Libya and failure to secure our diplomatic missions.
going to bed and going to Vegas during the Benghazi crisis.
The defense budget cuts, the attempt to keep our troops from voting.
The leaks, the lies.
The Benghazi cover-up.
America, don't you think it's time for a change in leadership? To restore a sound foreign policy, to have a strong national defense, to have a strong and vibrant economy, and to save America.
We do.
Preserve our honor. Remember the sacrifice. We are Special Operations Speaks for a safer and better America. Vote for Mitt Romney. Paid for by Special Operations Speaks PAC. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.specialoperationspeaks.com.
Was a spontaneous attack that was not pre-planned but got out of control. That contradicted the president of Libya's claim that it was, in fact, a premeditated strike. Later, the White House said the attack was, in fact, a terror attack.
This is as serious event as I have ever seen, and it's been confusing to try to follow where the administration has been. I'm disappointed the president didn't say, I'm not going to the fundraiser, I am going to go on national TV and put this right. Americans deserve the truth, they deserve the facts, and they deserve to tell the world we will not tolerate a U.S. ambassador being treated badly, let alone killed.
Well, my first job as Commander-in-Chief, Bob, is to keep the American people safe, and that's what we've done over the last 4 years. We ended the war in Iraq, refocused our attention on those who actually killed us on 9/11.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, Lieutenant Colonel and Colonel Wood and Mr. Nordstrom, were you pulling your hair out? Were you just flabbergasted that, like, what can we do? What can we say? What can we put in writing? What can we say on the phone? What else can we do? Was that your sense, an attitude when you got the answers from Washington that you did?
We were fighting a losing battle. We couldn't even keep what we had. We were not even allowed to keep what we had.
If I could add to that, it was, I told the same regional director in a telephone call in Benghazi after he contacted me when I asked for 12 agents. His response to that was, you're asking for the sun, moon, and the stars. And my response to him, his name's Jim, I said, Jim, you know what makes most frustrating about this assignment? It's not the hardships, it's not the gunfire, it's not the threats. It's dealing and fighting against the people, programs, and personnel who are supposed to be supporting me. And I added it by saying, for me, the Taliban is on the inside of the building.
10 years ago today, 19 terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes, and in an instant, 2,977 innocent victims lost their lives. To all who sat...
With respect to Libya, as I indicated in the last debate, when we received that phone call, I immediately made sure that, number one, we did everything we could to secure those Americans who were still in harm's way.
One more point about Tyrone Woods painting the mortar target with his laser in the expectation. By the way, Black 5 is a website run and operated, frequented by former military types, including a lot of Delta operators, Delta Force, Special Ops. They're livid. He wouldn't have painted the target if he didn't think there was an asset that was going to fire on the target. That mortar encampment is what killed him. When he painted it, he gave his location away. Cell phones have night vision capability. He gave himself up. Now, here's what's interesting. On the campaign trail in Denver, on October 26th, Barack Obama said this: The minute I found out what was happening, I gave the directive to make sure that we are securing our personnel and doing whatever we need to do. I guarantee you, everybody in the CIA and the military knew the number one priority was making sure our people are safe. Now, our ambassador in Libya was killed in the consulate in Benghazi on September 11th. For 3 weeks after that, Obama said the morning after the attack was over, he ordered increased security in our embassies in the region. Then, October 26, he changed the story. He said, the minute I found out what was happening, I gave the directive. So here's what military experts are asking now. If the operative story from Obama is that he had given orders to do whatever it took to secure the lives of these people, who didn't follow them? In other words, who ordered either the AC-130 or the drone not to fire on the target Tyrone Woods had painted with his laser? Because Obama is now, he's out there on record. He gave the order, do what's necessary. So Obama's trying to cover himself by saying, well, look, I'm not the one that told anybody not to use the military. He's out there now saying he essentially gave the order to do what it was necessary to defend and protect these people. So the question now has become, well, who disobeyed orders? And, of course, the logical conclusion is that Obama never gave the order, that he's just lying now, saying that he did. I can't, and wait till you hear Pat Caddell coming. I'm right with you. You can't follow this story and learn more and more about it without becoming physically angry and repulsed. You just can't. At all of the cheap lying and rear end covering that's going on here. It's just unacceptable. We are the United States of America. The idea that we don't have the ability to defend and protect people in that kind of situation is simply absurd. And the idea that we wouldn't take the action necessary to do so is also absurd.
Wouldn't be able to do what we do, and that's provide precision close air support and armed reconnaissance.
You probably have some of the greatest American heroes right here doing this mission.
Increasingly, modern military conflicts require increased deployment of special operations forces. These brave soldiers are often engaged in combat situations where air support plays a crucial role.
One can only imagine how fulfilling it is to have a ground team contact you on the radio and tell you they've been taking rounds for the last 12 hours, and as soon as they heard the props of the gunship, the firing stopped.
The AC-130 is outfitted with a highly complex array of avionics, hydraulics, sensors, and armament. And it takes a team of skilled technicians supporting each aircraft to complete a mission's objective.
I like to tell the technicians, and I tell them this all the time, that they put the air in air power.
The pylon turn is an amazing piece of physics. Right altitude, right airspeed, right angle of bank, no wind. Every time you shoot, it hits the same spot.
AC-130.
Number two, that we would investigate exactly what happened. And number three, most importantly, that we would go after those who killed Americans and we would bring them to justice. And that's exactly what we're going to do. But
on this anniversary, we honor those brave men and women by continuing to show our unity and strength as a country as we pay tribute to their memory.